I made a visit to the hospital recently and I had a mindset shift because of what happened. Before I proceed, my name is Chinwe and welcome to my YouTube channel. So, back to my story. I visited the hospital recently and the experience I had there literally changed my life. It changed how I view the world, how I view things, and my relationship with God eventually changed, my personal relationship with God. So, this is what happened. On that particular day, I went to the hospital in the evening. I heard someone screaming, like not screaming per se, but crying, wailing, sobbing bitterly. And in my mind, I'm like, not hospitals again. That's why I don't even like visiting the hospital because I can't stand blood. I can't stand seeing someone distressed or stand seeing someone, feeling all lost. It has a way of, telling on me. That's why I always say kudos to doctors, nurses, healthcare officers, anyone that is in the hospital. You guys are doing an amazing job. I feel like we don't pay them enough or we don't even appreciate them enough. They are our unsung heroes. So back to our story. I heard this cry and I was uncertain where it was coming from, but I just, hope that person was okay. So I tried to figure out where the entrance was because the hospital is quite big. I eventually made it to one of the, I don't know if it's entrances or exit points, but I just walked towards where I felt I might get help on where to eventually get to where I was going to. So as I approached the entrance, I saw a lady in her mid-30s holding, she was dragging a box, holding a pillow in her hand. That's the image. I have a mental image of this lady. And as she walked towards me, she clutched the pillow with one hand. I was dragging the box with the other hand, and she was waving. Ha! She was weeping and screaming like she didn't even care where she was. And that picture, that the voice I heard earlier on, that matched what I was saying. So I could now place a picture to what I heard earlier on. So this woman was the voice I heard earlier on crying. And she just walked past me and I felt really bad for her because I knew she was going through a lot. She couldn't even express herself, but she just cried and she was screaming. And I said a silent prayer for her that God will help her, whatever situation she's passing through, that God will make it lighter and she will get better. So I didn't know anyone there. I was still trying to figure out where I was going to. That was I was just it was getting late and I already had a busy day. So I saw a group of men walking towards me. Went to the security post to ask the lady there where to locate clinic I was attending. So she was trying to explain to me while one of the men there said, "Oh, he can take me there. He's going towards that direction." I was a bit hesitant at first because I was just trying to be careful, but I realized was speaking with the security lady, and then I noticed the tag on, he clipped the tag on his shirt. So I realized he's a staff. So I decided to follow him. We're in the hospital. So I asked him because he was coming from the same direction that lady was coming from, the lady that was crying. So I asked him, what happened? Why was that woman crying? Do you know her? And he said, oh, yes, they have been in the, what do you call it, theater since morning, operating on her little child, a year and or something. She said the child was about a year plus, and they eventually lost that child that evening. And now everything just, came together, her screaming, and I pictured her once more, and I really felt bad for her. And I'm like, oh God, please just be with this lady, comfort her as best as you can. I mentioned this man here to say thank you because he really helped me that day. He made my journey, easier. So we got to the nursing station, and he introduced me to the nurses as his sister. While she was taking my vitals, one lady walked in and she was not walked in, rather, a woman walked in. She was panicking and she was crying, help my daughter, and please bring a wheelchair or a stretcher or a bed. And the nurses on duty rolled out a wheelchair and they placed another woman. I think the lady was in her 20s, put her in the wheelchair and brought her to the emergency unit where I was. And this lady was gasping for breath. She couldn't breathe. She was panting. She was like, I can't breathe. my chest is tight. I'm feeling tightness. And so immediately all the doctors that were seated there, the nurses had to leave their station to attend to this lady. They were sitting in, trying to check her vitals to see how they can help her be better. And in all of this, I was just looking. I realized that my case was not, it was a minor case compared to the cases I was seeing there. See, I eventually saw the doctors, and then he still introduced me as his person, like his sister, to take care of her. And I had to do a record visit. They call it a record visit in the hospital. So he offered to take my card there to another destination quite far from where we were for them to impute my details so the doctors can start working on my file and we can start whatever I went there for. And I was so grateful to him. It pains me because I didn't have the opportunity to appreciate him more or tell him thank you. So I was able to see the doctor. And while the doctor was seeing me, they went for, I think, a ward round, if I'm correct. So I was just seated opposite the a ward. Yes, that the doctor's unit was just opposite the ward, and I could see what was happening in that ward. And what I saw made me, I was bleeding. I wept, not bleeding physically, but I was bleeding internally. I wept what I saw a man trying gasping for breath. I think no, his mouth was open, and I think they inserted an oxygen and a tube on in his nostrils. And I saw cases. I can't even explain them all because they are so demoralizing, and I won't want to, say things that might make you all upset. But I was upset, and for the first time in days, I forgot my situation, and I just was immersed with what was happening in my environment, and that made me think how ungrateful I have been, of how many times I questioned God, questioned His love for me, of how I was sad that God didn't answer my prayer. Maybe I needed money for something, or I needed something to happen or go my way, but it wasn't forthcoming, and I was just kept praying, praying, no thanksgiving, no appreciation. All I kept doing was asking, asking, asking. And at that moment, I realized these people might be millionaires, they might be rich, but they do not have good health. And they are just hoping, they're just hanging on to that little hope. The families were there trying to see that they help them. I saw, like I said, I can't describe all that I saw in that hospital, but that moment made me realize that I'm actually, I might not have all the money in the world, but I'm in a better position than so many people. And I'm not saying that I am better than them, like physically or because God loves me more. No, it's just God's grace. And it made me change the way I view the world. It made me change the way I saw God. My relationship with Him changed instantly. That moment, I thanked Him for my life, for my family, for all that He has been doing for me. And I just apologized to Him for being unfaithful, ungrateful, and you know, I try to pray that God will give me the grace to appreciate more. At that moment, I realized I decided to say more thank yous than ask, because I know that God's plan for us is ultimate. Like He loves each and every one of us so well, and that what He has in plan for us is even bigger and greater than what we'll ever imagine. All we need is to just trust in Him, trust the process, keep hoping, keep praying, but not to feel bad when our prayer requests aren't granted, because God is all knowing and He knows maybe when He gives us something, it might be premature or we might not need it or it might lead to our downfall. So my heart went out to all the people in the hospital there, and I pray that they recovered quickly, and I pray the doctors will try to treat them well as best as they could, so they'll be discharged eventually. So the next morning, after the procedure was done, I woke up the next morning. I was so grateful to God for health, for a successful procedure, and I left that hospital a changed person. My prayer is now thanksgiving to God. I ask, but I don't make it a priority. I don't feel bad when my prayer requests aren't answered, because God has been showing up for me back to back. He's always been there, directing me, guiding me, leading me, and most of the times I ignored all that he does for me. I was only interested in what I feel I want God to do for me, and it wasn't just balanced. So I put myself in the situation of all those cases, all those people that I saw in the hospital, what they were going through, what the families were going through. And I said, no, I'm not going to live my life just, feeling bad or feeling like God doesn't love me. No, He loves me so much, and I'm going to make the best opportunity out of life. And so I felt I saw God as a friend, as a confidant, as someone I can share, I can speak with, not necessarily being in a formal position like kneeling down or standing up. I could speak with him anywhere in the bathroom, washing dishes, driving, sitting down, any position. I could speak with him. So my relationship with God eventually changed, and I was just grateful to God for everything. And I'm sharing this video because I want to let you know that God truly cares for you. You might feel like you are not getting what you want, but God is aware of your situation. His time is the best, and I want you to keep hoping on Him. I'm not a motivational speaker. I'm just here to encourage you using my story and how what I saw changed my you know, entire belief and changed my entire thinking process. Now I am more productive. I have a better relationship with God, and I wake up every day grateful, making the best out of life. Every moment counts. So there's no time to feel sorry or no time to keep being in in a disagreement with yourself and your reality. It's time to embrace whatever you are encountering and see how to make the best out of every situation that you find yourself. So this is how the hospital visit changed my life. Literally, I'm not saying that I am perfect or in the best position, but at least I am better than where I'm coming from. And just to encourage you to keep pushing regardless. God sees you, God hears you. As long as there's life, there's hope. As long as you have good health, you can make good use of your life, your good health. And material things can be replaced. But you see, good health, life is something that cannot be joked with. And so I want you to just spend your time thanking God and making the best out of life. And if you feel finally this video spoke to you, if you watched till now, you're the real MVPs. Thank you. If you feel this video spoke to you, if you feel like you gain anything from this video or you feel like someone can benefit from this video, please do well by sharing, liking, and let's grow together. I'd love to see what um, this beautiful story will eventually turn to. Thank you once more for watching my video. I remain Chinwe and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.